We're back live exclusively on X, YouTube, LinkedIn, Discord. We're everywhere. I think we heard the feedback from last time. You guys had a fantastic time. We appreciate for the 1.3K views on our first community connected year with Dean and Roland. And I think again it was a fantastic conversation. There were hints and it was brought up last time about our next guest for this one. I think it's going to be a fantastic conversation. And my co-host,
JD. I missed the lead in there. Looking forward to this one. As mentioned last week, we're going to be joined by members of the DCF team today. Quick round of intros for us. So for those that don't know me, I'm JD. I'm lead of the community operations here at Agoric Opco. And you just met Miguel, who leads our community marketing here. So this call, this Community Connect, we're returning to our usual format of Q&A session with our guests. Who's joining us today is the DCF, so that's the Decentralized Cooperation Foundation. They're core contributors to the Agoric ecosystem, and so we'll be joined by Rick Shreves, who's the president of the DCF, Bob Calabrito, VP of Marketing, and Hannah Hamilton, Capital Markets. And as Miguel said, this should be a really great conversation.
So we're live. We see you. We see the comments. We see the questions you guys are dropping to us live. We did take questions that our community posted throughout Discord, and we will make sure to do it live. We'll do it live. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can today with the DCF, and just a lot of good questions. And then there's some even directed towards us, again, directly me, JD, from the Agoric side. So also do our best. Again, so if you're watching us in the future, again, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Leave those likes, comments, retweet, share the stream. It really, really helps us in terms of reach. And again, we're trying to grow our community here at Agoric. And, with the help of the DCF today, especially, we're always looking for new members to join the community. So, we appreciate you guys watching us live today. All right, JD, sounds good. Let's switch over. Let's get our guests to get the DCF on.
Yeah, let's bring him up. Hello.
Why no
Hello,
applause?
Hey, everybody.
It was a very
some applause.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. DCF. Some applause.
Thanks so much for having us, guys. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you for coming on today for sure, DCF, and then highly requested a group of individuals to come and converse with us, at least on the Community Connect side. So again, very happy to have all of you on.
Just wanted to point out, really love this new format that you guys have implemented. I think that this increase in community comms is a great thing. This approach to doing the video through multiple channels, huge improvement. So good job, guys.
Yeah, big shout out to Miguel for getting us all set up for this. But why don't we get started here? Start with some introductions. And Rick, let's kick it over to you. Maybe introduce yourself, the role of DCF, and a brief overview there.
Yeah, sure. My name is Rick Shreves. I sit as the president of the DCF, which, as they indicated earlier, is technically the Decentralized Cooperation Foundation. Bit of a mouthful, so DCF is what we go with. For those of you who aren't familiar with the mission and the nature of DCF, we are a foundation formed in the crypto space, and we were founded by the Agoric team. We are the foundation most closely associated with Agoric. We're a little different in terms of our charter than most crypto foundations. Our charter is actually very broad and aligned with really the broader Agoric vision of facilitating decentralized cooperation in various forms and through various modalities. So the foundation is really focused on that larger achievement of goal. How do we make parties that don't know each other, perhaps don't trust each other, cooperate and function and be able to do things together in a trustless, decentralized fashion? That's really what our mission is. And we see Agoric, of course, as being key to that. And we're very, very closely aligned with Agoric to support their ecosystem development and growth. And that really is our focus right now in sort of the early days of the DCF. We've only been around a couple of years. We have a fairly small team. We have a fairly limited treasury. So we have to pick and choose our targets. And right now, the vast majority of our effort is going into bolstering the Agoric ecosystem and getting good alignment with incentives for people to participate in that ecosystem. Don't know how much more information you want from me right now. I think more of it's just going to come out in the course of the conversation. So I'll just hit pause right there.
Yeah, and before we move forward, maybe we'll just get some quick intros from Hannah. What's your role that you play at the DCF?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the DeFi specialist over at DCF. So that tends to encompass everything capital markets as well as some DeFi strategy. So both DeFi and some CeFi, but heavily related to decisions made around the larger strategy we have with BLD and Interprotocol.
And last, certainly not least, Bob.
Yeah, I'm Bob Calabrito, the VP of Marketing for the DCF. As the title indicates, everything that's marketing, that's Interprotocol, Agoric, Build, and you guys seen me there in the Tribbles land. So all the marketing that supports Agoric from DCF perspective, and then all the activities that we execute from the DCF in terms of Interprotocol and the other ecosystems. That's where I live.
Yeah, and all right. So I think now that we know you, know your roles, I think we can get started into the Q&A section. We'll just kind of shoot our questions toward each of you as they're relevant. So maybe before we look into 2025, what were some of the some of DCF's key accomplishments for 2024? Let's go around the room and hear from each of you, starting with you, Rick.
Yeah, well, one of the big things that happened in 2024 was the expansion of the team. In the early part of 2024, just about a year ago right now, we expanded to add additional marketing support, to add the DeFi support. We had a dedicated operations person, and we pulled in a part-time legal counsel to help us as well with the increasing number of agreements, partnership docs, et cetera, that we're doing. So that was a big part of expanding our capacity in 2024, and has really shown up in the amount of marketing that we've been doing this year, and also in the capital market side of things. But I don't want to steal Bob and Hannah's thunder to talk about their accomplishments in those areas. The other thing that I should talk about, because it probably isn't going to get picked up elsewhere, is our grants program. During 2023, we had an active bounties program. We had to pull that in 2024 for a couple of reasons, but we were able to continue with the grants program in the first half of the year. Among the things that we funded was the integration of the Agoric ecosystem into Range, which is a security and analytics platform. You can now use the Range platform to set up if you're a build token holder, you're an Interprotocol IST token holder, you can set up alerts and notifications when market moves happen, when things happen with your vault and Interprotocol, et cetera. So it's really increased the amount of functionality and utility for build holders and IST holders, which was a great outcome from that grant. We also provide the financial support for the Economic Committee of Interprotocol and other activities with Interprotocol as well. So a big hunk of coin goes into paying for the Economic Committee, paying for the Oracle network that's behind Interprotocol, and supporting the marketing and community activities around Interprotocol. And on that side, we also tend to have a hand on the tiller to help out a bit on the governance side. Getting community discussions going about new asset types, for example. The DATM asset right now is in process, and then helping see that governance through, get those proposals on chain, move that asset into Interprotocol. Those are some of the things that we've been doing across this last year that are really grant-like in nature. And then the thing that's happening right now that there's quite a bit of buzz in the market about, and has been a great deal of fun, frankly, is the Tribbles project, which is done with a grant from DCF. It's not a DCF project per se, it's a third party, but we've supplied the funding for it and helped facilitate the coordination with the Agoric engineering team. And I'm not going to steal Bob's thunder on Tribbles, so I'll just stop right there.
Yeah, I think all of that is great. And I before we get to Tribbles, I think I do want to learn a little bit more about Hannah, on the DeFi side of things and the capital market. So What about things on your end?
Yeah, so let's start with capital markets. A few things that I'm sure many BLD holders are aware of are that we've been able to get listings on HTX, CoinsPH, Bitmart, and more exchanges. So one key, goal of ours is to have BLD accessible as far and wide as possible, so that anyone who finds our ecosystem can seamlessly access it. So with each of those, then kind of that's the centralized exchange front. With each of those, we're also doing very interesting co-marketing activities like learn and earn campaigns and AMAs. But similar to Rick, I won't, steal Bob's thunder there. He does so much for the org, so much for the ecosystem, and he can give you a much better rundown than I can. But on the DeFi side, we also put more resources towards our DEX pools this year, and the BLD Osmo pool on Osmosis has actually been used nearly as much as Gate in terms of volume, which is very exciting. So our goal was to deploy more liquidity there, and we've seen 20 to 40,000 in daily volume, which is really great. So all across the board, just making BLD as accessible to all. That's been a huge focus this year and last, and we've done quite a good job so far.
Yes, you have.
And Bob, how about you? What are some of your key accomplishments from 2024?
Well, apparently there's a lot of thunder around me, so we'll get through that one first. I appreciate what the team said. Yeah, from a marketing perspective, we're in a very unique and privileged a place to market the various ecosystems, and it certainly is a lot of work. I can't go without saying we have Albena on the team. She was a new addition to the team this year. It's been absolutely great, and it's really helped us to increase the volume of the marketing we're doing, and then of course the quality for what she brings from the content writing. So we're, as I was alluding to previously, we're marketing the DCF, we're doing marketing for Interprotocol, we're doing marketing for Agoric, and supporting Agoric's own marketing in the build capital market. And then of course Tribbles came to our plate late in the year last year. I think what a lot of people don't understand or don't get to see is, DCF marketing, besides the stuff that we put right up front, we work behind the scenes and we've created or led on a lot of really good content going out last year. We had over 115 pieces of organic content that went out. That's not paid media. These are going to different publications on the internet. 2.5 million views from that, and these are focusing on build, and these are the ones just focusing on build, orchestration, and Agoric, not to mention the 50, 60, 70 that we have of Interprotocol, and unfortunately at the end of the year as well, we had a bunch coming out on Tribbles. We had 36 to 40 unique discussions happen on Reddit, which we don't have a huge audience over there, but we're getting the technology for Agoric and the news about build out on yet another channel. So we have various channels that we're putting out all this great news. And then about 85 mentions in other channels through KOLs. We have a great partnership with CryptoCito, who also gets a lot of our who also gets a lot of our content out there. So from a content perspective, and we still feel that content is king for marketing, we're getting the word out there for Agoric orchestration, build, and of course the other ecosystems, Interprotocol, and we have to market the DCF, and that's one of our main goals this year is to get the DCF name out there a little bit more, because we know that as that grows, then more eyes come to the Agoric ecosystem as well. Last year we participated in a number of conferences, again raising the visibility of all the things that we look after. And then we brought to market Tribbles, which we'll talk just a little bit about later on. So super exciting year 2024, and we look forward to what we have planned, which is pretty massive for 2025 for the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think those all great numbers, and for sure the platform growth, expanding to all these different places where we could converse about Agoric and DCF in general. So I think some fantastic stuff. And we used to cover it ourselves when you shared those along to us. So again, some fantastic stuff. So before we get to talking about what's ahead, the future of 2025, I want to thank everybody who's watching us right now and leaving those comments saying hello. all 150 plus on this beautiful Thursday morning. So again,
Nice.
appreciate all of you watching us right now, and I'm sure people will continue to trickle in. And if you just joined us right now, we're being joined by the DCF. Very very big guest for us, because a lot of people have been asking us, how closely we collaborate, the work they're doing for us, and DCF in general doing fantastic work. So let's get into 2025, and I want to start off again with you, Rick. What's it looking like for us this year?
Everybody always asks right at the beginning, what are your plans for 2025? And the crypto space is so dynamic, right? The environment is so fluid. It's really hard to formulate a year-long view and spit that out 12 months in advance. What we have to do, particularly in our role supporting the Agoric ecosystem, is we have to adapt as Agoric reaches various milestones and they introduce new services and partners and align our efforts to support that as best we can. So, when we talk about plans, our focus really first and foremost is supporting Agoric's goal of being a leader in this seamless cross-chain world. And we think Agoric enjoys specific advantages there. And we think this is a winning path for Agoric, and we fully support it. And that's how we align our efforts. We also are very, very focused on making sure that build token holders, have a positive sentiment about the token, about the project, and that it's a worthwhile thing to hold build, to acquire and to hold build. We have done a number of things and will continue in 2025 to do a number of things that are really focused on building the strength in the capital markets and building a marketing strategy around the connection between Agoric orchestration and the build token. That nexus of how build powers orchestration is a narrative that we're going to be going hard on 2025, so that people out there make the connection between orchestration, between the build token, and they are motivated to buy and hold the build token. That is really, really one of our main goals for 2025. It's been really a brutal year, 2024, and for a lot of altcoins, and build is no exception. So, we've sort of realigned and refocused our efforts to address that, to make sure that we've got the runway that we need to get these products to market and to make the difference that we think Agoric can make. And that's really the focus for me for 2025.
And let's turn to Hannah for around capital markets. What are some of the goals and plans there going into this year?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we want to increase awareness of BLD and position Agoric as a leader in this seamless cross-chain arena. So we've touched on that a little bit and what we're doing to try to get BLD really as accessible as possible. Bob's doing marketing to make sure people know about it, know what it is, and then also, we hope that people can enter our ecosystem and really get excited there. We're also kind of in parallel with that, trying to ensure that BLD liquidity remains sufficient across SEX and DEX platforms, and support seamless trading. So as I mentioned, our osmosis pool, we put a lot more resources behind that, and people loved it. People have been using it. That's a very easy way of getting into the ecosystem if you're looking, and really investing in both of those in the centralized and decentralized exchanges has seemed to do good things. And then beyond that, we're also trying to foster confidence through improved narratives and enhanced yield opportunities to bring new users into the ecosystem. So some exciting things we're doing there. This is where you might get your alpha for the podcast, or for the AMA. But I would say that users who like BLD, hold it, and have been looking for some new things, I would say pay close attention to some partners we have out there like Hydro. I know Hydro has been a big name in the Cosmos space as of late, and you can actually watch out for Agoric in the next phase there. We'll have a more formal announcement, but for those who are listening here now, you can start to get excited. And then also we are looking to add a strong lending partner, and kind of explore different Cosmos lending projects in the near future. And we have a certain number of goals that we're trying to hit, and we're always tracking our metrics. But one that I want to share here just highlights how some of these things have been working a little bit. But in about the last 30 days, we've actually seen a 10% increase in all Agoric smart wallets. So we are seeing new people come into the ecosystem, and we're happy with the 10% increase, and we want to get that number even higher. So that's a little highlight without getting too granular on what we're working on over here.
That's nice. A little alpha alert there from Hannah. So if you guys are listening attentively, make sure you're taking notes. So that's great. And then for those of you watching this in the future, make sure you join us live if you can next time. But appreciate that, Hannah. So it's really cool stuff there. So last but not least, Bob, marketing, super visible. People are always asking for when marketing, and I think it's for sure. It's a lot. It's a lot to get done. There's a lot of things, a lot of handles to pull. So let's talk about it. What is 2025 looking like for marketing and the DCF?
It is, you know what, Miguel, it is a lot, but it's made easier also from the Agoric team, right? So first and foremost, our role is to also support all the marketing efforts that are happening over at Agoric, Julia, and the Agoric marketing team. And, over the last 6 or 7 months, we've seen an uptick in Agoric's own marketing, and that really makes it a little easier for us as well to amplify. So as Hannah and Rick just mentioned, we do have an extensive strategy that's mostly built around capital markets and a specific end result there, and that's mostly to bring more recognition to build and hopefully have the positive effects of that recognition. We just finished putting the final touches on a pretty extensive marketing strategy to support that endeavor, and that includes things from multiple KOL activities, exchange programs where users of those exchange, build holders of those exchange will be encouraged to stake their build for a certain period of time. We have an exciting program coming out with bonus blocks. This is somewhat of a Quest platform, but it's on chain. Where users, again, will be able to stake their build and participate in points programs. Also with bonus blocks and other points programs where you'll be able to interact with your build, earn points, and possibly, if you're lucky enough, win some real world prizes, which will be unique in our space. So all this is done to increase the confidence of build holders, to attract new build holders, and to generally get the positive vibe of the ecosystem going to a broader audience. And that's really how we're functioning, and we have a really great program coming to facilitate that.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. There's a lot going on the marketing side. You're wearing a lot of hats for the DCF over there.
Mostly to protect me from the thunder.
Speaking of the multiple hats, DCF is a key player in the interprotocol side of things. So, Rick, turning to you for this one, what can we expect to see in 2025 for interprotocol?
Our relationship with Interprotocol is we're really sort of a facilitator, if you will, because Interprotocol is community run, community governed. It's the community's protocol. Very first DApp to launch on Agoric. It's been up and running now for quite a while, and it's a long-term market play for us. So we work behind the scenes to keep the lights on, to keep things going, to keep Interprotocol sustainable, to market and make people aware of Interprotocol, to support the Economic Committee, the Oracle Network, those sort of things, and then to help facilitate the community with the acquisition or the identification, I should say, of new asset types that we can add into Interprotocol. So I think that looking at 2025 and what's coming, we're going to stay the course here. We've made some optimizations to some of the things behind the scenes, such as reducing the size of the Economic Committee to make it more economically viable for the foundation, and also looking at expansion of the asset types that are offered for people so they can open vaults and interact with different assets using Interprotocol and make Interprotocol more useful to them as a place where they can achieve leverage. So the DAtom token is going to be coming in very soon. We're waiting for that to go to mainnet right now. We're about to open discussions around the next asset that's going to be added. Maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's something else. We don't know just yet. We're going to leave that up to the community, of course. And so that's what we're going to continue to do in 2025 is stay the course, keep Interprotocol alive and healthy. Let market conditions improve so that there's more attractiveness in IST within the ecosystem. And then with things like tribbles, which will be priced in IST, we're starting to see some of the things come online that will actually drive demand for IST itself, a reason to acquire IST and something to do with it. So that's going to be really a big change in what's happening over at Interprotocol. And I'm hoping that when we have this conversation a year from now, we're going to see Interprotocol as a player in the space and something that is vital and is respected in the space and has the proven track record of reliability and stability that would make it attractive as a stable token asset.
Rick, could I just jump in? It's a perfect call to action, actually, for the Interprotocol community. You hear the DCF speak about it a lot. Interprotocol is a decentralized protocol that it relies on community participation. So as much as the DCF, we love to be involved, we get involved, and we're very happy to be in the position that we are. We really wish and hope and encourage all the community members to get in there and nominate a collateral asset. Think about, some sort of something that could be built for Interprotocol. Take it upon yourselves to make the protocol grow.
Yeah, what strategies do you as a community member want to be able to execute? Well, if you let us know what sort of strategies you're interested in executing, well, it gives ideas to the community about how we might expand those asset offerings or make changes. For example, based on community feedback, we recently reduced the fees to a de minimis amount, and that stimulated a lot of new activity in Interprotocol. So yeah, that's absolutely right, Bob. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and for anybody who's wants to get into those discussions, join our Discord. Interprotocol has their Discord community is within the Agoric server. Also, go to the community forum, community.agoric.com, and there's an Interprotocol category there to start these discussions. So if you want to see any assets added as collateral, bring them up, and there's a full detailed guide about the process to do so. Hannah, just to get a couple of your thoughts, around IST from the capital market side. Do you just have anything you want to maybe expand upon from what Rick said?
Yeah, I mean, as we said, always working on it. I'm really excited to see here how it evolves in the next year. I think that an asset like IST is amazing because it is always evolving as we add these new collateral types. And similar to BLD, we're always working to get it as accessible to people in as many places as possible, make interesting yield opportunities. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, the alpha alert, the hydro announcement would involve IST. So it would be a way that both the hydro community and the inter community can benefit. But we're really excited to see how that and some other things go this year.
Yes, and thanks for adding to it, Hannah. Bob, coming back to you, as we were just talking about a little bit around the Discord community, there's another community that you're helping out with, the Tribbles, and they're also active in the Agoric community. We see you and Albana active in the Tribbles Lounge. So can you talk to us about what's the DCF's role with Tribbles and give us an update and maybe more alpha?
Everybody wants the alpha. So as Rick mentioned, the DCF certainly isn't the direct chaperone of Tribbles. We offered a grant. We granted a grant to an engineer to build it. Tom is doing a great job. And we took it upon ourselves to organize the go-to-market. So about 6 months ago or so is when we first started the go-to-market. I'll be the first to admit we came out of the gates. We got great community reaction. We slowed it down and came back again. This is leading somewhere, so I do have a little bit of alpha. But it's been encouraging. Once we announced the concept of Tribbles and did some pretty good marketing, some hype marketing behind it, we had a goal to grow the Discord community to 3,500 people before we did the spawn or the mint. We've achieved that, unfortunately, just a little bit behind on that spawn day. And that's okay as well, because the community continues to grow and there's still some marketing activities to take place. Yeah. So from an official role, the DCF, again, does not control Tribbles. And the idea is for Tribbles to be controlled by the community. So it's a complete community a project. That's the theory and the thesis of the intersubjectivity. But it needs somebody to be a liaison of sorts to help get it to market, and that's essentially our role at the moment. The alpha, I would say, without giving away anything definitive, if you know what the pre-qualifiers are, which you should by participating in interacting in the Tribbles Lounge, I would get all your ducks in a row. Make sure that you participate in as many of those pre-qualifiers as possible, as soon as possible. And I'll just kind of leave it to there. Maybe we'll have one of these discussions later on in this forum about Tribble specifically. But the alpha would be get participating into your pre-qualifiers ASAP.
I think that was some good alpha. I think that's a good one. All right, so I think there's one more question we'd like to ask. I think each of you. I think this is a good question for all of you to kind of answer. What would you like community to feel about the DCF in relation to Agoric? What you could phrase that as a goal that you're trying to hit individually, or overall, just what could people rely on the DCF in relation to Agoric? So I'll start with Rick at the top as always.
Thanks. I think what I would like people to, or the perception that I would like to see emerge in 2025, is that there is a foundation that is backing Agoric, that supports Agoric, that is dedicated to seeing good things happen with the Agoric ecosystem, and that is DCF. We've always worked so much behind the scenes. We haven't spent a lot of time, effort, and energy in building our brand. And I think that's caused a lot of people to have questions. What is this entity? What does it do, et cetera? Hopefully with events like this, we're starting to address that and let people see the alignment that exists between DCF and Agoric. The Agoric ecosystem is truly that. There are multiple players. It is an ecosystem, and we play a critical part in that ecosystem, not only in regard to keeping interprotocol up and running, but also with the capital market side of things, which in 2024 we jumped into with both feet and are doing even more in 2025. So again, the takeaway is, I want the community to see the alignment. I want the community to be aware that there is a foundation that is backing Agoric with all of their efforts. And that is what I would like to change in 2025.
Oh, yeah, we'll keep going down the line. Hannah, mute it. I got you.
I got it. I would say that people in the community, I would just want them to know that with all of these different things, so capital markets, DeFi partnerships going on, and kind of everything that involves BLD or IST, there is a team of people behind it, right? Like, we are constantly thinking about these things, strategizing, and putting tracks on the ground and just plans into action. So I think that that's something I would want people to know. But then also, we're more than happy to do it kind of behind the scenes and just always keep working. And we don't need any crazy recognition, but it is just a whole team of us that are always thinking about these things and trying to really bring the best products, partnerships, marketing to the community. So it's a pleasure to be able to share some of those thoughts.
Hannah, speak for yourself. I want the crazy recognition. I mean, you guys don't know. Look, they said it. I don't know if I can expand on it anymore. We're a small team. We bleed the Agoric red as much as I think that anybody else in the Agoric ecosystem or working for Agoric on Agoric does. It's a passion for ours. We're very happy and fortunate to be in the position to do what we do. It is behind the scenes, and we are pretty much happy to do it that way. We do feel that it was important for the community to recognize the work that we're doing, not for the DCF perspective, but to also see that this holistic approach to expanding the Agoric ecosystem is not just being done by Agoric, but you have this whole other engine that burns for Agoric and to achieve all the objectives and the endeavors that they hope to. So we're really happy to do it. So I want the community to understand that, to know that we work very hard at doing that, and that we continue and will continue to do so.
I think that 2025 will be a fantastic, fantastic year, I think, for everyone here on screen. And again, we appreciate all 250 plus of you listening to us right now live. So again, we appreciate the DCF for coming on today. I usually ask where to find you guys, but I have it right in front of me. You can find the DCF on Twitter, DCF_IO. You could visit their website, dcfoundation.io, and then make sure to subscribe to their newsletter, get all the latest updates on the DCF itself, Agoric, Inner Protocol, Tribbles, and just decentralization as a whole. So again, it was fantastic having the three of you on today. I think it was a really, really important and great conversation with you all. Been learning more about the DCF, and I'm sure a lot of questions for the community that are rolling in, and I hope that we were able to answer the majority of their questions. And then if there are any other questions, feel free to drop in our Discord. The team is always visible, present. If you give them a tag, they're always hop in and converse with everyone. And then of course you can leave it under the Agoric account as well. Or at Agoric on X, and leave your questions about the DCF, and we can forward them along too. So again, appreciate all of you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting us and giving us some time to talk to the audience. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Take care, y'all. Bye. Wow. So we got two pieces of alpha. We had a lot of information about the DCF, and I think the community will be super appreciative of it. 250 plus live and watching us. Again, appreciate it. We see the comments. We see everyone saying hello. A lot of people. Agoric team, again, appreciate y'all for hopping in the chat and answering questions I know I saw there. So those have been answered. Again, I think JD, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that was great. I think it's really important that we got some. We had the DCF on to help explain to the community the role they're playing behind the scenes for Agoric. Aside from Bob, who's very community facing, a lot of the work that they do goes on behind the scenes and maybe doesn't get as much recognition. And so having them on was an opportunity to give that. And yeah, great turnout. Thank you to all 250 plus of you who joined us today. Really great to have you all here. And yeah, overall, really enjoyed that. I learned a little more about the DCF myself.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely learn a bit more too. And stay tuned for the announcement on our next Community Connect. We should also have an announcement very soon about our next composer live stream. So that will be happening relatively soon. And then also we have an announcement next week, something related to Denver. So that's a little alpha on the Agoric side. So very excited to announce some of those things very soon. And again, we appreciate you watching us live right now. And for those of you watching us in the future, we appreciate it too. Leave those comments, like, retweet, engage, leave the comments on YouTube, repost on your LinkedIn, share it in different Discord servers. We appreciate all of you for watching us today. So again, shout out to my co-host JD, and thank you to the DCF for joining us today. Again, we appreciate you guys for tuning in today's Community Connect.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
See you on the next one.